Hello friends, and welcome to the start of a brand new city. We're in Cities Skylines 2, and I'm so excited to finally start this game. We're in the Waterway Pass map, and as you can see, it has some really beautiful views. I can't wait to get started, so let's jump right in. So I'm going to start the build off by connecting utilities, and I'm going to start with wind turbines. It is a little bit different placing wind turbines in this game versus in CS1. I find it a little bit harder to figure out which area is the best when placing down the wind turbines, but it's just something that I'm having to get used to. So I'm just going to be connecting our electric cables, and you can place those underground, which is a nice feature in CS2 that I really like. And so what we're going to do is we're going to connect these electric cables to our power grid. And so you can see underneath our road, there's already the start of a power grid. So I'm just going to be making some smaller roads here, and this is going to house our transformer, and we'll use that to export electricity outside of the city. Exporting electricity is really going to help us make a profit with our budget. The budget is very different from CS1. At least for me, it's harder for me to come up with a profit in this game, at least so far. But I have heard that there's been some issues with it, like maybe there's some sort of bug going on. But hopefully the developers will be working on that, and then we can all have a more pleasant experience with managing the budget in this game. So I'm making a grid here, and one thing that I do really like about CS2 is the ability to create these grids. You don't have to spend a ton of time making them. The road connections it's a little bit harder, I think, to make grids, manually without this tool. So I do like that they added that feature in the game. So I've just placed down our transformer, and I placed down some power lines underground, so that will export our electricity outside of the city. So now I'm going in and I'm working on our connecting our water services. So I'm just using a little alley street to make that connection to our water pump. And then I'm going in and I'm going to connect our sewage outlet with a sewer pipe. It does take a little bit getting used to connecting the water lines. To me it's a little bit harder to see, but once you figure it out, it does become a little bit more natural. So we've made our first level progression to level 1, and you do get these development points. I've just learned that I have to be really careful with spending these. At least for me, I don't know how to take those back. Once they've been spent, I don't think there's a way you can get those back if you wanted to use a different development point for something else later on. So this new grid that I'm creating is for our industrial zone. And we do have a lot of water in this map, which is really, really pretty. But we might need to do a little bit of terraforming in order to make us have a little bit more land available over there. So with our zoning, you start off with your low density And I've just placed down some low density housing over here. And then I'm just going to go in and place a couple of small commercial zones. This map does have some different elevations, and using the terraforming tools has been a learning experience for me. But I am going to try to level out just a little bit of the land that we have. I don't want to go too crazy because it's really easy to kind of mess this up and just totally ruin the map, ruin your map. So I'm just going to be using this very slowly. And then I'm going to use the smooth tool to smooth out those edges. Okay, so now we have a nice little grid going, and I'm just gonna make a couple more road connections, and we're gonna get started and place our first few services. So the landfill and the medical clinic do require a little bit more space. I think I end up placing down the medical clinic first, if I'm not mistaken. But the landfill, I am going to wait until we get to level 2 so that we can have the ability to purchase some more land, and then I'll plop down that landfill. So in the game, I really do love these smaller alley streets. I use them mostly in between residential areas. So with these large blocks that we have, it can be a little bit tricky kind of figuring out how your residential areas are going to populate. I don't mind mine populating in different directions, but I know it can be, different for different people. You may want to have all of your residential housing facing a certain way, things like that. And these little alley streets help with that. So right now, placing down these medium density row housing, I've learned that if you leave space in between your street and the actual zone, then they'll all face the correct direction that you want them to go in. So they won't be facing the side. So now I'm just expanding just a little bit on our residential area. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to do too much too soon. So I'm just doing a couple of extra rows here, and I'm just going in and filling those in with our low density housing. So things are looking pretty good so far. I'm just going to go in and I'm adding in a couple more rows over here. This is going to be a little bit of a mixed use development area. So there's going to be some commercial over here and also some medium density housing over here as well. I do love the little tweets that come in, especially when new businesses are opening up, and it'll say you know, we've just opened up on such and such street. I think that's a really cute feature that they have to the game. The tweets in CS1 I thought were kind of annoying. And I guess they can be annoying in CS2 as well, but I really like it when you put down some zoning and then it's like, we've just opened at this location. I really like that. So I'm placing down the medical clinic over here, just trying to get it into more of a central location. Once the building is upgraded, it does require a little bit more space. So that's why I've kind of have it on its own block here. The crematorium is one that I spent the development point on, and the reason is because the crematorium, although it does cost more than the cemetery, it costs less as far as monthly upkeep. So I'm going to be placing down that crematorium pretty early on, because you can see that little orange and black icon is someone complaining about not having a dead person being picked up. So I'm placing that down. So we did get some more land, so I'm just going to purchase a couple more tiles, and then I'm purchasing one over here to the left. That's where, or actually that's the right. That's where we're going to place down our landfill. So I don't like how my road here is close to our water. I'm just gonna do a little bit of terraforming over here because there's really not much flat land. So I'm just gonna flatten out very carefully over here so we can put our landfill down. I tried to smooth it out first and it didn't really do anything. It didn't really do anything. So I went in with the level tool. And then I'm just going to take that smooth tool and we're going to smooth out those edges. If you are playing the game, I would love to know your thoughts about it so far. Are you enjoying it? Is there anything that you miss about CS1? I personally, I really do love mostly everything in the game. I don't really have any complaints. I do miss the bright colors though from CS1. I know some people said like with CS1 it just kind of, it looks, I don't know, not realistic with the colors of the houses and things like that, but I actually really liked that aspect of the game. I thought it was cute, but I do love the realism aspect of CS2 as well. I mean, for the most part, you're mostly gonna see buildings that are gray and brown and red, red brick. But it's nice to have that realism, but at the same time, I do miss having, you know, just some brighter colors to brighten up things. Yes, so I decided to place an extra road here, and then I'm gonna plop our landfill down because I didn't want it to be that close to the water. This area tool is another tool that I am having to take some time getting used to. I do like that we can set our own space for landfills and farming areas and things like that, but it did take me a little bit to actually get used to placing down the nodes exactly where I want them. So we did get the ability to have education with that last update, but I don't think we really need to place those down yet. I just want to get our population up and running a little bit more, so we're going to hold off on placing down any schools right now. So I'm just going to add in a couple more grids over here so we can expand our industrial zone, and then we're going to get into building a bridge across our water just to get some more commercial and then some more industrial over there as well. So normally I would be very particular about my sizing of buildings when I'm zoning, but just to save on time, I really didn't pay much attention to how things are being populated once they come in. It just takes a lot of time doing that. So I'm just using the fill tool to fill out our zoning, at least for now. Yeah, so we have some space above, and we also have some space over across the water near our industrial zone, and so that is possible that we're going to be developing more land in that area. I'm gonna be building one bridge across the water. We'll probably build a second bridge in the next episode. So this area is pretty flat, so I don't feel like I need to do any terraforming over here. I'm just gonna go and get started with making our bridge. So I do really like just the basic bridges that come with the game. This 4-lane bridge looks really nice. It's really easy to build, and I really enjoyed the views, especially like once you pause the game and you actually look at it. It really is pretty. With the water running underneath it, it looks really, really good. So I'm just gonna make a couple of grids over here, and this will be some new commercial and some industrial. So far, I haven't had any issues as far as performance goes for this game on my computer. I don't really have much information as far as like what kind of computer I have. I just know that we bought it fairly recently, so I'm just fortunate that it's able to run the game. But I have heard that as cities get larger, there may be some performance issues, so we'll just have to see. Okay, so the grid tool really made that very easy to lay out that over there. We have some traffic coming in, but nothing too crazy. I think I'm going to end up removing that roundabout that we have, and I'll just place a normal intersection there. So we do have a lot of parking that's going on with our street. I'm just going to fix that by placing down some wide sidewalks, and then also the grass on our streets. I'm not going to do that on every single street. I'm just going to mostly be using it in one direction. Yeah, so there is a difference between the cost as far as the grass, the sidewalk, and the trees. So I'm starting with the sidewalk first, and then I'm going to be doing the grass in our low density residential area. I'm not going to do the trees yet because I want to see our city make a profit before I put in those trees. But I do wonder, when you're placing down the trees for the road, is that more expensive than placing down normal trees? Because it seems like there's a difference between the monthly upkeep versus just planting trees in the city. You know, I could plant trees next to the road and call it a day, you know. I don't know. So I'm just buying a couple more new tiles since we did level up. I still don't think that we need a school just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and place down our police and our fire services. So far with the cities that I've started off with in the game, I haven't gotten over 10,000 population yet, so I'm still very new to this game and it does take some time to get used to. With the taxes, I really need to read up more as far as, what the taxes should be. I've tried different things and trying to, be particular about which residential's zones are going to be higher, things like that. And right now I'm just going to keep it simple. All right, so I'm just going to build a little bit more. We're just going to make another grid over here so we can place down some more residential areas. And then I think we'll be almost done with the video actually. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Cities Skylines content. I don't know if this is going to be like a super long series because it is harder for me to put out CS2 videos on the computer versus on my PlayStation, but we shall see. So I'm definitely enjoying playing the game, and I definitely want to make more videos like this. So I'm just going to leave this large area empty because I want to use it either for some schools and then possibly some parks. So I'm leaving that big space open for that. So people are complaining about high rents. So I think I need to put down some more medium density zoning. I'm just going to follow that same pattern that I have with our row houses. And then I'm placing just a couple of commercial buildings in this small block over here that we've just created. And I'm just going to place that small alley in between, and then we're going to fill the rest of this block out. All right, so everything looks pretty good. I know it's not ideal having that wind turbine in the middle of our industrial zone. That will probably be moved eventually, but we do have some fertile land over here, so I would like to place down some farming, just a little bit of farming over here, and then hopefully that will help us with some of our production. Okay, so now I think we might need to go ahead and place down our elementary school. We have more than 150 students that are available to go, so I think this would be good to place down. So I'm just bumping up our taxes for our residential to 11%, and we'll just have to watch that and see if people start complaining about that. So I'm trying to place it in a central location. So I'm going to place it over here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in the playground and the clinic. All right, just adding a couple of more extra roads over here so we can put in a little bit more industrial, and we have some more space. I think we can put in a couple more residential areas. So I'm just going to make a very small grid over here, and we're going to extend this residential area out. So you can see here, it's definitely takes more time not using the grid tool, but sometimes you do have to do it. In this instance, I did make it manually, but it definitely takes more time. All right, so the final thing I want to do is I'm going to zone in over here. We're going to put in some more industrial, and we're going to put in some more commercial. And we just have to make some connections so that they have sewer and water over here. So we're just going to do that very quickly. Now I'm just going to place down some medium density housing. I am going to try to make these fairly small because I don't want these buildings to be too tall, because I don't want this area to become, a bunch of skyscrapers. So I am being a little more particular about my zoning over here and the zone sizes. I really just want to pay attention to how tall those cranes are, and I want to make sure that everything is fairly short. So now I'm just filling those other 3 blocks in with our row housing. And that is pretty much it, guys. I'm going to end the video with a couple of cinematics for what we've done today, but I really hope that you've enjoyed the video. And if you did enjoy it, leave a comment, let me know. Let me know if you want to continue with this city, so I can make more videos like this. Yeah, I really appreciate you all watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.